to the Clerkcast. Thanks for the listen. My microphone's shining, my vocal cords glisten. I've got the topics, some new and some old. Some of them are hot and some of them are cold. Thanks everybody, I'll go with the flow. Everybody, let's start the Clerkcast show.
I say let the conversation begin.
All right, we're recording, so I'll just give an intro and then we'll just talk.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
All right, your name is Wade Phillips, correct? Wade Simmons.
Wade
Simmons.
Yep.
I keep getting Phillips. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest. He's a man of many hats. A bartender, or not a bartender. Let me redo this. I had a whole joke where it was like a mortician, a filmmaker, and a wrestler walk into a bar. They're all Wade Simmons. Ladies and gentlemen, Wade Simmons.
Hey, what's up with you? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, bud? Well, let's first tell people how we met. You know, like where you can pay to boost your page? I paid $7 and it kept it. I didn't know what it did, and it kept messaging people like, "How may I help you?" And then you just messaged me back about my podcast, and then you were like, "Hey, I'm a mortician and a filmmaker who wants to be a professional wrestler," and I thought, this is money, baby.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, well, first thing we'll talk about before, obviously, wrestling is going to be the thing I want to talk about. Because I am a wrestling guy. Sort of like in 90s, 2000, but I love wrestling. But I got, how does one get into being like a mortician? How does that come about?
So it's many ways you can do it. I can speak from my experience. I volunteered in high school. I was a senior. And I started volunteering at a funeral home. And then I just stayed there and started working there. And then I eventually just from that, went to school to be a mortician. And, it was kind of an up and down journey, but to kind of be straight to the point, I would say anybody that wants to do it, the first thing I would do is maybe volunteer at a funeral home for like 2 days, see if I like it. And then I would enroll in school. And then most of the programs are like 2 years. I mean, it's a very tough program, but if it's something you really want to do, it's worth it,
Yeah, I don't know if I could do it, but I mean, so what exactly do you do? Do you like get the bodies ready? I mean, what's your role? I'm not quite sure what a mortician all does.
Well, so a funeral director would be, really somebody who deals with the paperwork, make arrangements with the family, does the removal of the body, handles the death certificates, and kind of organize, kind of almost like a wedding planner, but for funerals, like you pretty much plan the event.
Yeah.
And I mean that's kind of like a narrow way of putting it, I guess. But and then the other side of it is embalming, where you would be the one that takes care of the body as far as preservation, to make sure that it looks right and disinfected and stuff, so that they can get the last, their last memory of their loved one, if that's what they choose.
Yeah. So you've done that before, the embalming part?
Well, yeah, when you're in school, you have to. When I was in school, we had to embalm 20 bodies, and
20
the
bodies.
crazy thing was, like, my last lab actually was on my birthday, which was crazy because I remember that same day, like a police officer had got killed in Chicago, so that was crazy. But yeah, man, it's a pretty cool job. Like, I think you would have to really, have it in your heart to do it, because like, some people get into it and they be like, man, the money's probably nice, but I feel like, everybody's journey is different. Like, I feel like in order for you to do a job like this, you have to really care about it.
Yeah. Like, is it weird the first time that like they get? I mean, I'm not getting like graphic or anything. I'm just asking, the first time you like, you have a body in front of you. Is that a weird experience? Is it unnerving? Is it like?
Not at all.
No?
Like for me, I never, like, since I've been doing it, like I never, because like I don't bring it home with me, like, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
with me, like, to me, like, what kind of keeps me doing it is like, it teaches you kind of like to pursue your dreams and stuff, like, and like don't sweat the small stuff, and like,
Yeah.
you know, kind of make the most of time. Like you talked about, like when you paid $7 for the ad or whatever, and
Yeah.
I ended up messaging you because I'm like, you know, like to me, when I see people trying to like do good things and stuff, like I believe in connecting with people. Like, you know, I think it's pretty cool. Like, but see, working in the funeral home, like that motivates me to like, you know, just go after the things I want and just, you know, connect with people and bring some joy into the world. You know.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Now, have you ever seen the movie Weekend at Bernie's?
Uh, I remember. Is that the
It,
one?
yeah, where
Is that like?
the guy's dead, and
Yeah, I
they
remember.
put sunglasses on him. Now, how realistic is that? How long before Bernie would start, like you would, like falling apart a little bit? Like they had him for like 5 days, right? You would fall apart at that point, right?
Well, I've never seen like the whole Bernie movie. I remember exactly what movie you talked because
Yeah,
my mom used to
the
tell me about that
yeah,
movie
the
all the time.
premise is
And
they
like,
want to party at his house. So and he has a heart attack. I think he's about to fire him. So if people out there are big Weekend at Bernie's fans and I'm getting like, the plot wrong, get your own podcast. This is how I saw the movie, you know what I mean? So so I think he's going to fire him. But they like use his house and stuff, but they keep him alive for like I don't know how long with just glasses and strings. So
yeah.
I mean obviously it's unrealistic, but how long before things start to go like, south?
Well, to be honest, decomposition. As soon as a person dies, it starts right away.
Oh, so that makes Weekend at Bernie's 2 even more ridiculous than it already was.
Yeah, because I mean, by 5 days, I mean, you know, it probably wouldn't have looked too pretty. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you didn't get the proper treatment or you know,
No,
a refrigeration. Yeah.
I don't think they took the proper steps with Bernie, but yeah, so you also make films too, correct? I seen some
Yep.
of them. Yeah. So why do how do you do three things at once? Like, what's your dream of all three, or is it to make it big in all three?
This is the funny thing about it. So, like, I went to school to be a mortician, and I went to film school. Graduated from both, have a degree in both. But both were originally my plan to be because, like, when I know, like, because to be honest, I know morticians that are lawyers. Uh, I mean, I know some that are. I know one that's a pilot. You know, I know one that's a military man. Like, you know, like most funeral directors I know, they have more than one job.
Oh,
And I find that pretty interesting because like you know when I was a little child I always said that I was going to be a filmmaker, I was going to be a mortician because like I was like really like fascinated with like Walt Disney, Spike Lee, George Lucas, very big Star Wars fan, and I knew that I wanted to be a filmmaker, but I'm like you know I don't just have one dream, like I have this dream that I want to do two things, so I ended up pursuing both of them.
oh, that's pretty cool. Now that's kind of weird that you said people have jobs other than a mortician, because what I've heard is like that's a good business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a never endless supply of like things to do. So I would think that was a job that pretty much shakes up most of your time.
I mean, it does, but I think the thing about it is, to be honest, everybody's different. But for me, I can understand why some people do both because a lot of times some people like, because like being a funeral director, to be honest, for a lot of people may not know this, but like back in the day, it was more of like a second career for people. So like a lot of people that were getting into it were like older. You know, they had already had other jobs and stuff, and then maybe if you're the owner, maybe your kids or something, they go to school or whatever. But like now, it's a lot of more younger people into it. But like I think it's one of those jobs that if you don't balance it, you can really get burned out.
Yeah.
And because to be real with you, I know people that are licensed and you know got all this stuff, but when they started doing it, they like I can't handle it. I
Yeah.
just gave it up, you know. So like you can really get burned out if you don't balance your life out doing that type of job.
Yeah, I suppose that's probably why you got three things going. Now,
Yep.
um, now the wrestling. Let's get to this wrestling, bud. So you're already a filmmaker. You're already a mortician. How did we end up being training for professional wrestling?
So that's funny, but it was actually filmmaking because there's a young lady who's in AEW named Sky Blue.
Oh yeah. I know who that is. Yes.
Yeah, she's from Chicago, and I knew that like they had this like wrestling program in Chicago. So Steve Boz is the trainer. He's one of the guys that trained her. And he's trained a bunch of people like Mustafa Ali and WWE. Like he knows the business very well. But I reached out to him because I was interested in doing a documentary. And we got to talking, and he like, well, come check out the school or whatever. But like all through the time, like he had invited me out to the show, but he also like, from talking knew that I used to wrestle in high school. So when I met Sky, I met like Axel Rico, I met like quite a few of the other wrestlers, and like Miller and all them guys, and like everybody's for the most part pretty nice. Like Levi, like he's like a mentor to me. That's like my big brother. So shout out to him. But kind of like meeting everybody. And then Steve like, so when you gonna start training, Wade? I'm like, oh, I guess I'll start next week. So I went with the expectation of making a documentary, but I ended up just started training.
No, that's pretty cool though. I mean, it's got to be harder than it looks. I myself have some background in wrestling. I was the MSS, non-televised TV champion. It's a backyard wrestling. The Madison
Nice.
Suplex Squad, yeah. And
Oh, awesome.
but it was a lot of like fake punches and stuff. But then it started to get a little rough, so I got out when people started like throwing each other through tables and stuff.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
But even from like not knowing what I'm doing, I mean, it seemed like a pretty easy way to get hurt, and it was like that's where my dream ended. I just went
Yeah.
full fandom.
Yeah, I totally get. Well, like for me, like it was kind of funny because like when I started like training with Steve or whatever, I made it pretty clear that like I'm doing it more for recreational purposes, like not necessarily trying to, be the next Rock or anything like that. But I mean, I do it because I like it, and I like to have fun with what I'm doing. And so like when I started, like I kind of let it be made known, like I do work at a funeral home. I am an independent filmmaker, so like I go to practice when I can. I mean, I'm already pretty busy, but like
Yeah.
whenever I'm there, man, I have a good time, But I mean, not everybody is as friendly, but for the most part, like there's a lot of good people doing it, and like I'm kind of glad that like I got the opportunity because like so many talented wrestlers out here that like get overlooked. It's crazy, but like but just thinking about how, like I got a chance to meet Hornswoggle. I met Scotty
I
Too Hotty.
I actually
I
got
met
served.
Eugene.
I got served a drink by Hornswoggle. He was working at this bar because my brother lives in Oshkosh,
Oh,
Wisconsin.
nice.
We're in Madison right now, but yeah, my brother lives in Oshkosh, and I was sitting there and we are at the bar and I'm like, dude, that's not Hornswoggle, is it? And he's like, yeah. It was pretty cool. It was pretty surreal,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, he goes to like all the local shows and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Oh man, so you got to come up. You got to come out to CSW, man, one day when you can drive up here, man. That'd be awesome.
where oh, do you actually do stuff like do you do like performance shows and stuff?
Well, so I'm still in the early training stage because, like I said, I don't really get to go to practice consistently. But I mean, I'm around it enough to kind of learn the background of the business and stuff.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you said you wanted to be more of a manager.
Yep. So that's what we're working on towards me being more man. But you still have to know like the move sets and how to call the
Yeah.
matches and stuff.
Yeah. Now, are you going babyface or you going heel?
I think I could do a little bit of both. I think it's probably easier to be a heel, but I mean,
It's
it's
funner.
kind of like you can come up with the gimmick and everything, but like the crowd kind of makes the character.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be a bummer that the funeral director wrestler role's already been taken. I
Yeah.
mean, it
Well,
seems you had a role yourself, but you're just like 30 some years too late.
yeah, and it's kind of funny you say that because like I feel like in this day and time that we live in, it's like whenever you do something familiar, then people always compare you.
Yeah.
And it's like I love Paul Bearer and I love The Undertaker, but I'm like, I want to kind of do my own thing with it. Like, nothing even similar to what they
Yeah.
did, but it's like pretty much all the gimmicks have been done before. You just have to, you kind of just got to know how to make it your own.
Yeah. I used to call myself Dude Ranch. I
As a
mean, it's
dude,
not. Yeah, the Dude Ranch. That was my name. Dude Ranch, the MSS non-televised TV champion. I never
Nice.
lost the belt either.
Oh man, that's awesome,
Just
man.
to be fair, I retired the champion. I know it's like, it's not something you do in the business. That's how Bret Hart got screwed. But I went out the way I wanted to.
Yeah, I mean I put it like this: if I do wrestle in the match, I would love to retire a champion too. But I think I'm gonna stick to managing because I don't want to end my career. I
Yeah.
want to be able to make money doing other things too.
Yeah. I mean, your role is going to be like the 400-pound guy is going to crush you. You know what I mean? Once or twice.
Yeah.
But no, that's pretty. Man, you got a lot of stuff going on. But
I love it though. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
all right, yes. I don't know a lot about funeral directing, but I know a lot of wrestling. So since you're going to be a manager, I got to know who's the greatest manager of all time?
Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman. I mean, I put him on Mount Rushmore, but for me, the number one all time, Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Oh, Bobby Heenan. Oh, yeah,
Bobby the
everybody
Brain
loves
Heenan.
Bobby.
Yep. And,
Well, you know what? But see, Bobby Heenan was kind of before my time.
oh yeah, how old are you?
I'm 31.
Oh yeah, see, I'm 39, so I'm just like the generation ahead.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah,
him and Jim Cornette were like the two biggest scumbags, and you couldn't wait to see him get pounded. Paul Heyman, he's a good talker, He's a really good talker. I would put him top 5. Like, I can listen to him talk, but as far as like really hating people, oh man, Bobby the Brain Heenan was just a big mouth. I couldn't stand that guy, and that's what makes him good, is I couldn't stand him.
But like when I look at Paul Heyman, like I'm looking at somebody that has had longevity in the business.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
And I mean for him to still be around, like I think that's really amazing. And I kind of like now, like he was with Brock Lesnar for years, but now they got him with Roman Reigns, and it's like I'm kind of glad they did that because sometimes you should switch it up a bit. And it's kind of nice to see Brock Lesnar doing his own thing with the new look and stuff.
See, yes. Now that's I didn't watch wrestling for a long time, like years and years and years. But funny you say that, is I actually saw like some videos on Facebook of stuff in Roman Reigns, and I actually check it out now because of that. So it was probably a good move because you brought an old school guy back. Because for a few years it was terrible. I mean, in my opinion, I'm not speaking for anybody else.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah,
but
and I mean that's fair, because like for a few years I stopped watching myself, but like one day I was watching Roman Reigns, and then I kind of was like, you know what? I would love to kind of be a heel, like just to make people mad and just to, because like I can picture somebody saying to me like, you just want to be like the Undertaker. And I can say, well, according to my degree and according to the state of Illinois, I am the Undertaker.
That's pretty good. See, that's pretty good. Do they teach you like promo skills or anything?
Yeah, but you know what? To be honest, before my voice got damaged, I've always been a talk and had the gift of gab. Because I did a lot of like public speaking and stuff like that. So like, I got the gift of gab. So I mean, that's something that I think I could just naturally pull off.
Yeah, I think I'm the same way. I mean, it would be fun for me just one time. Just give me the microphone. Let me go in front of a few people at a bingo hall. Just call them all kinds of names and just let me live my dream.
And I want to coin this slogan, like like whenever I get the mic and wrestling, I want to, like, whoever I manage, I want to tell the opponent, like, defeat is not our destiny, but it sure is in your future.
That's pretty. See, you've already got your slogans, so you're going into the game ahead.
Yeah, well, see, one thing that, like, I think me and you may have in common is, like, with me, it's like no disrespect to anybody in any of the industries, but, like, I don't know, it's like when you really want something, sometimes you can't really wait on people.
Yeah.
You just have to go for it,
That's right. You're absolutely right.
Because I feel like sometimes people can hold you back. And, again, that's no knock on anybody, but it's like, you look at a lot of people like The Rock and John Cena, all those people who have done great things. It's like, you're not going to really get anywhere if you're just waiting on people to promote you. Like I'm like a crocodile. Like if the opportunity get too close, you got to reel it in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you do anything else besides the 54 things that you do? Like, what do you do for fun?
Well,
When a guy's got his toe in all different kinds of pots, what do you do for fun?
well, to be honest, I love writing. Like, I'm always writing scripts. Like, that's really my favorite part of filmmaking is writing because, like, I used to pay people to write for me, and like, it would take them like weeks or kind of like a long time to get back with me. So like, I just started writing myself, but like, I found it to be like more recreational and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
But I love writing, and like I said, because really, like, I'm a very social person, but like, kind of like on my free time, I just sit back, listen to music, and write. And I don't know if you watch the show Reba, but I'm a very big Reba fan, so I watch a lot of Reba.
Reba McEntire or not?
Yep.
The Queen?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I mess with Reba. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
then she's got that dumb
Yeah.
son-in-law. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
Reba. She's a queen. I put Reba
Well,
up there.
but I kind of like that show because, like, it was kind of like a nice, plain and simple show. Didn't have a whole lot in it. It was just like the storylines were good, the acting was good, and it was just, really just kind of nice and wholesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, with the way this world is, sometimes you need to see more things like that.
Yeah. Sometimes you need Reba.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I hope to meet her one day. I got to thank her because that show is awesome, man. I love it.
Well, let me put it out there. Reba, if you're listening, get a hold of Wade.
Well, maybe we should go by and check out her restaurant because she just opened up one.
Where's she opened it up at?
Well, was it in Oklahoma or something like that, I think.
Road trip.
But-
Is she
but
there?
yeah, I hope so.
I would hate to drive down there and Reba not be there.
Yeah.
You know? Like, if you go to Dollywood, I know Dolly walks around.
Yeah, that's true.
But, yeah. Yeah, you're actually the first person that's going to be on my podcast. You're like the very first one.
Oh, nice.
I interviewed these two people, but the audio didn't work. Did you TikTok at all?
Not really. Like,
You'll have no idea who these people are then. For sure. But, yeah, they're pretty cool, but I ruined the whole audio, so...
Yeah,
So
well, everything is an experiment, so,
Yeah.
we just trying something out, so nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so you're actually you're pretty much the first person that I've, interviewed.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you're giving me good practice, man. I really appreciate it.
Look, it's good, man, and I'm glad that you actually promoting yourself, because, like, I mean, if you don't take the risk, you never know what may come out of it,
Yeah, a lot of people always say I should start a podcast, and then I was a guest on these two guys' podcasts, one sitting across from me. They've been helping me out, so I'm just going to go for it. The worst that's going to happen is I'll fall on my face.
It's okay, I mean, I feel like, you never know unless you try,
That's right. And at the end of the day, I'm still handsome. That's what I always set my clock to, just being handsome. No matter what happens in life, I'm handsome. I can get my way out of it.
Yeah, man, you got to have something to keep you going, man.
That's right. All right. Yeah, but I think we'll wrap it up. I'm not, as I said, this is my first interview, so longevity is not my strong suit right now.
It's okay. Sometimes short and sweet is always good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right. For sure. Do you want to plug anything? Like, where can people look at your stuff? And
Sure, you can find me on Vimeo, Wade Filmmaker, 37's on Vimeo, so Wade Filmmaker 777 on Vimeo, and I mean, that's pretty much where I post my work, but you can find me on Facebook, Wade Simmons, or you can find me on Instagram. I don't post too much there, but it's Wade Jedi 99, always on the light side of the force, baby. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll have to friend you on Facebook or something so I can keep an eye on you. When you're famous, you got to come back and do the show again.
Oh man, look, absolutely, man, I really appreciate you for having me. And by the way, before you go, who's your favorite wrestler
Of all time?
Yep.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, the rattlesnake. Oh yeah.
When I was like 16 or 15, he was like, I didn't miss an episode of wrestling. And I hated Vince McMahon so much, and I lived and breathed what Stone Cold did. So all time Stone Cold.
Okay.
Now I would be remiss if I didn't ask you the same question.
Well,
favorite wrestler.
Well, I actually have like 5.
5. So you got a Mount
Number
Rushmore.
one is Kane.
Is who?
Number one is Kane.
Kane. That's a hot take. At number
Oh
one.
yeah. And then second, I gotta say would be Carlito. You remember Carlito?
Yeah, I spit in the face. Yeah, he's.
Yeah,
he
was actually. He actually came to one of our shows a couple of months ago.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Your Mount Rushmore. This is a hot take. This is a Mount Rushmore that nobody else has.
And then
Carlito.
And CM Punk is also one of my favorites. Now, to me, I put him in a class by himself because.
Well, you're from Chicago. That's biased. That's super biased. That don't count. That's like me putting the Crusher up there because I'm from Wisconsin. Yeah, that's biased. I mean, it's your Mount Rushmore, but that's got an asterisk.
On the female side, number one would be Jazz.
Jazz? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the fifth? We got a fifth here.
You said the fifth. Now, I got to say
said you
it's
had
a tie.
five.
Well, I got to say it's a tie, but I got to say Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho? Okay. That's a Mount Rushmore that nobody else has.
Yeah.
An original Mount Rushmore. I mean, you should have put China up there, but other than that, I think it was a good Mount Rushmore.
Oh, man. But
China's the lady goat. China's the lady goat. She was the only Intercontinental champion. She beat Chris Jericho for the belt.
But I can't leave out my boy the road dog Jesse James. You know what I'm saying? That was my guy.
1998, I went to the Kohl Center in Madison, and you didn't know? That was I can't explain how cool, how everybody's saying that. It was just it was like a once in a lifetime thing. Back when it was red hot, they waited till the commercial break and that place blew up. It was pretty cool.
Oh man, yeah, the Road Dogg was awesome though. But you know, it's just nice to see that like those guys are still around, you know, because they really do put their body on the line because like when I'm at practice and when I go to the shows, and shout out to my boy John McNasty because like he made his debut, he's really improving it. Like when you see people really working hard like that, like they actually work to get to where they are.
Yeah,
like, that's no joke.
All right, before I wrap it up, I make original jokes, okay? Now, if it's not funny, don't laugh. So I just try to get a barometer of what people think of these original jokes that I write. Because at one time I was an aspiring stand-up comedian, but these are jokes that I'm trying to like put out in the American public, okay? Now, some of them are bad and some of them are good. This one I have said before, but you haven't heard it. So there's this family, okay? In 1 year, the brother gives the sister a cactus. This cactus is hideous. It's ugly. It's droopy. It's a horrible-looking cactus. Sister doesn't want it. So the next year, she re-gifts it back to her brother. And as the years go by, they just pass this cactus around, okay? And then the last year, the sister gets it back, and she is so mad. She is so mad about it. And everybody goes in the kitchen, and she's still very angry. She's cussing up a storm, and they hear a scream from the other room. Ah! Ah! They look, and the mom's got blood on her leg, and she's like, oh, I backed into the cactus. Oh, I'm really hurt. And the daughter looks at her and says, guess you're stuck with it.
Oh, man. No. I should have saw that one coming, but look, that wasn't...
That's a terrible joke, wasn't it? But you laugh, so I'm putting that down. One for a laugh.
I should have, like, you know, that was pretty clever right there.
Thank you. All right, man. Well, it was really nice to meet you. I'd like to stay in contact with you, see where you go.
Absolutely, yep.
And if you ever want to do the show again or something, just hit me up.
All right, well, thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you, man. Yep, have a good night, buddy.
All right, you too, thanks.
All right, bye, bud.
All right.